Alright, we're going to find the domains of these functions and we will write the answers in interval notations. Let's look at the first one. We have f of x is equal to ln of x minus 3. So let's do a quick review on the side here. Whenever we have a function that involves logarithms, so let me write down log with any base b, and if we have the x inside here for the input. Remember, to find the domain, it means that we have to set out the condition on what are the x values that we can use for the function. Whenever we are involving this, inside of the log, so let me just indicate that right here, we have to make sure, okay, and that's really write down the word make sure. This will really help you to remember what exactly we have to do. We have to make sure that inside here, well, we cannot have any negative numbers inside of the logs. We cannot have 0 neither inside of the logs. We have to make sure the inside has to be bigger than 0. So this is the idea. And now let's come back to this one. We have ln of x minus 3. And you see this is the inside expression. And by the way, ln means log base e. So same principle applies. So right here, we'll just indicate that the inside here is x minus 3. And let's write down, we have to make sure the inside, which is the x minus 3, this has to be greater than 0, right? And now you see, we set out this inequality, we can just isolate the x. To do so, we can just add the 3 on both sides, so that means x is greater than 3. And then we are done. However, the question wants us to write the answer in interval notation. So, let me just write down this right here for you. Let me put down here is going to be the domain in interval notation. When we have x is greater than 3, this means we can draw a number line and then we can indicate here is my 3, and because I want to be greater than, that means I don't want to be exactly 3. So I'll put an open circle, and I want to be greater than, that means I go all the way to the right. And this will be the graph for the inequality. For the domain in interval notation, we first put down the number on the left, right? It's easier to look at the graph and then write down the interval notation, in my opinion. So we first write down the left endpoint, which is the 3 right here, comma, the right endpoint, because this graph keeps on going forever, that means the right endpoint will be positive infinity. And then we see that because we use open circle, I don't want to include the 3. Therefore, we have to use a parentheses. For the infinity, it's by default because you can never include what infinity is. So it's always in parentheses. Alright? So this right here is it. And then box the answer right here for you. Moving on to the second one, we have the function g of x is equal to 3 minus 2 times the log base 4 of x over 2 and then minus 5. And all we care about is just the inside of the logs. This 3 doesn't matter. This minus 2 here doesn't matter neither. All we have to pay attention is the inside of the logarithm, which is this. And for this function here, we have to make sure the inside expression, which is the x over 2 minus 5, this has to be greater than 0. Okay, then we just have to solve for x. So to do that, we can just add the 5 on both sides. We have x over 2 greater than positive 5. And then we can multiply both sides by 2. So let me just indicate that. Let's multiply 2 right here, multiply by 2 right there. So we can get x by itself, and that's x is greater than 2 times 5, which is 10. And then we are done. And similarly to the previous question, to find the domain in interval notation, you know this is going to be pretty much a similar graph. This is 10 right here, and then we can just open the circle and then we go to the right again because it's once again greater than. So we want to put down 10 comma all the way to the right, which is past the infinity, and then we don't want to have the 10, so open parentheses, and for infinity it's always parentheses. Therefore we are done. This is the answer. And then check out the next video for other examples.
That's it.